Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and thanks for joining me for the next video. Um, Last week I told you what we were going to do. We're going to finish this whole area. We have to cover up all of this and we're going to take care of all of this area. I pulled out the building that was here because we're not ready for that yet. What I need to do, what I want to start with is I want to start with covering up this little foam area here. We need to complete that. And I've already started on that a little bit. And what I need to do is match this retaining wall down on the bottom here. And what I've done is I went and took some paper, because when I'm fitting things like this, I like to know where I'm going with it. I don't have, giant amounts of styrene to cut and mess up and do over again. So I start with a paper template. And I cut the paper template, so this is what I came up with. So this fits here, okay? And that's going to be the continuation of the wall. And then at the bottom end here, I'm going to run this like this. There's going to be another short section. It's going to go at a small angle. Probably something about, I would guess something about like that, okay? And then after I made the template, I made some marks on the top of the template where these ribs have to go. Okay, and I didn't mark them here because it's pretty straightforward. But that's where the ribs are going to go. So I took this template up, stairs to my bench, and we hit the scrap bin. This is exactly the reason why I keep all my scraps of styrene. Because you never know when, you're building a project and you have extra styrene and, small pieces you might think to throw away, but I do not. And this is what I came up with. This is going to be the continuation of that wall. Now you can see it fits right up to this wall here, just like that. And then there's the rest of the wall there. And that's going to fit in there just like that. Now, it does need to be painted, of course, right? So, and I just wanted to point out something else in here. In these pieces of strip here, let's see if I can show this good enough. So in this, and it's the same as the wall I did going down the backside of the train station. This strip styrene comes down, and then they added another partial strip going up underneath it, so it adds some thickness at the bottom, okay? And each one of these does that. Now I'll have to go back and fill in this gap right here on each of these, but not a big deal. So now at this point, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to fill those in. I'm going to sand down my edges on all of these spots here, make sure those are all good and clean, and then I'm going to paint this and weather it to match this other wall over here. And then I also took on this last rib here, this, or first rib, however you want to look at it, this rib here overhangs my sheet here just a little bit. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to overlap when I install this, to overlap the existing wall like that, and that'll fit right in there like that, and it'll be a seamless transition from the existing wall to this wall. And once that's painted and weathered, you'll never know that that went in like that, okay? It'll look like it's always been there. And then once this is painted and installed, this sits up a little bit. I've got more stuff to pull out right here. And just a little thing for you, if you're redoing an area and you have a lot of junk in there, as I do, I bought one of these paint scrapers, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, and I just go in there and I'll just scrape out. These things are awesome, and they just pull out all that crap that's in there, and it allows me to get everything nice and clean. Like that. just like that. And now everything's out of there, and this will sit just like it's supposed to. Like that. Okay, and that'll go like that. And then to attach this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to caulk the side of this, and then we'll push this into the foam, and I'll drop a weight right in front to hold it tight like that. And then this will come down to the ground, and then that'll all get glued in like that. And then the next step from this is we need to fill in the back side here. And all I'm going to do, I'm probably going to take a little bit of the green foam, this foam, and I'll glue in a little bit to fill up some of the height here. Maybe down in the back. And then we're going to sculpt mold the whole thing to match in. And then I'm going to clip back this wall up here, this wall I have at the top. Let me see, am I still? Yeah, you're still able to see. So we're going to clip back. I'm going to clip back this last section of wall, and then I'm going to put a small section of chain link fence right from this end of this railing right here, right to the wall. And then we're just going to sculpt the mold, and then we're going to dirt and grass this whole area. And then once that's done, then we'll tree it all in, and that'll be that. Then it's time, once that's in, and normally I do everything on camera, right? So you sit and watch me do the whole thing. I didn't show this getting made on camera. This took me about an hour. There's going to be a lot of stuff I'm not going to do on camera this time around. I kind of want to just kind of blow through this and get it done. The next thing that's going to happen in here, this building has to go in here. And I have the building still. It's right here. And this building's going to sit in here like this. Now this building originally was here. It was a different configuration, but the building was here. This is going to be my freight house. And I want this to be a tarred parking lot. All right, and this stuff I have down here, this is what did they call it? It's not water soluble, so I can't really get rid of it. It's I don't know, it comes in a can, like a cardboard can. I'm looking around to see if I can find the can. It works good to use it. It's rock hard plaster of some kind. I can't remember. But it dries like cement, okay? So you can't wet it and then just get it out of there. So while it works really well to do things with, it's kind of permanent, all right? So I probably will never use that again, only because of that simple fact that once it's down forever. But what that does to me is it makes me, I gotta cover this to make this tarred, because this texture that's here, it's very textured. It's more like, if I were to paint it brown, it would be like dirt or gravel is what it would look like. And I want a tarred parking lot. So I have to cover that. And what I came up with for that is I got some more styrene. Now, if you're wondering, I keep lots of this styrene on hand. I have a sheet of, this is 60 thousandths. Ideally, I would have liked to have made it thinner, but it was the only sheet I could find quickly to do this with. I would have liked to have done it in 40, and I couldn't find my 40, so I started cutting this. And of course, you know, after you cut it, then you say, oh crap, there's my 40s right there. But anyway, this is the 60. Now, you can see it's all cut out for the building. The only reason I'm cutting it for the building is if I put this down here, let's say we did it like this, and then you set the building on top of that, it raises this platform too high to the rail. Okay? So, I mean, the easiest way would have been just to put a whole sheet in here and then drop the building on top, which is what I did in my cities and all that, because I wasn't worried about matching up to rail and all. But because we're matching up to the rail, I need this to be lower. And I traced out the building on top, and I cut this to fit inside. So what we have is this. So the building fits inside like that, and that's our first part of the parking lot. Okay, and it works out fine with the door that's here. Everything height-wise looks right. This is another section that's going to get glued in, and I have register marks right here. So when I go and bring this up to the bench upstairs, all I'm going to do is match up these two lines right here, and I know I'm good. Okay, so that's the front half of the parking lot. And yeah, this is going to get pushed back because we have to build the road. Now the road, somebody asked about how I was going to get the road in here. And I was thinking about that for a while before I started all this. And what I came up with, and I think what I'm going to do, is I'm going to bring the road from this road over here. Let's see, are you able to see that? No. So the road's going to come in from over here, and I'm going to bring it over the rails here. This is all part of the rail yard kind of stuff, so I'm not too concerned about bringing, you know, stuff over the tracks and that kind of thing. And this track here isn't going to see traffic. I know, you know, in reality, you'll look in the mirror and the track goes on and all that, but I'm going to bring it in over here. And then the car wash will sit over here. So it'll be like, sort of like the end of an industrial area, is how I'm picturing that. So that's how that's going to go. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it. And then I have one more piece of styrene that's going to cover the backside here. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is maybe making a small fleet of either box trucks or tractor trailer trucks to go into this area that will be pulling freight out and in and that kind of thing. And then the road will come in over here. And I'm going to do styrene, so the transition over the tracks right here will look like this part over here. So that coming over the rails over there will be just like this part over the rails here. Okay, it's not really a big deal. This styrene right here, I think, is either 10 or 20 thousandths. It's very, very thin, and I have more of this. And what it does is the styrene is just thick enough where it goes even to the rail sitting on top of the ties. Okay, and then I have another one here, and then another one here. And then in here, I just cut thinner styrene and just filled in so that the trains can pass over it. And then, of course, you line the whole thing. And I can do all of this on my bench without too much trouble or too much effort. And it works really easily. So back over to the other side. So to bring the road in from here and just hop the rail right here is really not that big a deal. So that's how that's going to go. And then maybe we'll put a sign and it'll say, you know, maybe a sign for the Brookfield train station freight house, maybe out by the road here, and it'll be a long road to get in there. I don't know. But that's going to be the plan for that. So now we have this all worked out. And then we're going to tree heavily all back in here and up here. All this heavily treed. And then I want to cut out, we're going to come back over here. This cork here from when I laid all of this train station, I'm going to cut out a bunch of this cork. And then we're going to, of course, when we ballast all of this, we're going to dirt and tall grass these middle area here. We need to put an ending on this rail here. So lots of things to do. I think that's going to be it for this week. I think that's all I've got. I think I've run my mouth about long enough. So we're going to call it a day. If you're just finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Love to have you along. So, until next time, happy modeling.